Hey everyone, what is going on? MysticFox live and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to do something a little bit more laid back, a bit more chill, and you can let me know whether you like this style of video, and I might do more like this. But I wanted to address some of the things I've been seeing in comment sections and stuff regarding Payday 2 on consoles, and also just talk about those versions because I haven't really given them the time of day for a while now. And I'm seeing a lot of people ask me to talk about console versions, whether the things I talk about for PC updates will ever come to consoles. And so I think it might be a good idea just to sit back, explain my stance on console updates, what I think will happen, and also where the console videos have been, because it's fair to ask, knowing my history. For those of you who need that history, or just a bit of context, let's give you a little brief amount of context so you know why I'm making this video. So, the console versions of Payday 2, that being the PS4 and Xbox One versions, Nintendo Switch we aren't discussing, because that was confirmed to not be getting any more updates in something I'll explain later as well. It'll come up later in the video, but if you're listening for Switch, nothing's ever going to happen. Please don't hold out hope. It's not worth it. Sorry, that might be a bit blunt, but that's just the way it is. But in terms of Xbox One and PS4, the last update we had was in December 2019. Added a few heists, the crime spree game mode, a few other bits and bobs here and there. It was a really good update overall, added some cool stuff and kept the console community really happy for a little bit. But since then, we've had nothing, and it has now been the longest period ever between DLC updates. We had over 400 days between the Crime Edition launching in mid-2015 for Xbox One and PS4 to the release of the Big Score DLC in September 2016. That record has now been broken. It has been way longer since the last update for consoles, so naturally, people are wondering what's going on with consoles, where the updates are, and why I haven't been talking about it. So in this video, I'm going to answer two key questions. First off, what's happened to the console videos? Why am I not talking about consoles? What's going on? Second off, do I think there ever will be another console update? Again, that one's a shorter topic, but I want to cover it as well because I think it's important. And for context, if you haven't seen my What Went Wrong with Payday 2 on Consoles video, I do thoroughly recommend you go watch that either now or after this video. A link is on screen and in the description. It basically just explains what caused the issues to begin with on Xbox One and PS4, why it's been so difficult for Overkill to get updates out the door. Nothing in that video has changed as far as I know accuracy-wise, so it still explains everything. So let's answer the first question of two. Where are my console videos? Why haven't I been talking about console? All that stuff. I started off doing YouTube videos in September 2014, and for the first two and a half years was all variety stuff, me doing whatever the heck I wanted, uploading whatever I wanted. As I said recently, I'm going to try and embrace that a little bit more going forward, doing other games as well as Payday, but that's not the point for this video, because I still like doing Payday stuff, and that's not going to change. But in mid-2017, the Most Wanted DLC update released for Xbox One and PS4 at the start of June of 2017. And by that point, no one was really making videos on the console versions of Payday 2. The only person that I'd really seen was Uncle Aggie TV. Some of you might remember him. He was a Yorkshire-based YouTuber, UK-based, I'm pretty sure, who went through all of the Payday 2 stuff on Crime Edition, just played through all the heists with his friends, had a good time, had about 100 episodes, was really good for the console community, but he faded off around the time that I started, because I made a video talking about the Most Wanted DLC, and it blew up. I only had a couple of thousand subscribers, and it got several thousand views, which just really shocked me. And for about 2 years or more solid, it was constant console videos. What's next for Payday 2 on consoles? What's going to be in the next DLC update? What are Overkill saying on the forums? My ritual would be about a couple of times a week or once a day, I would log into the Steam forums, have a look at the console section, and see what Overkill Goris had posted about the DLC updates. Just saying this now makes me feel very nostalgic, because a lot of you might remember Goris was the go-to guy from Overkill who told us everything that was going on. Unfortunately, at the time, Overkill were not good with communication. I mean, just having Goris talk in the Steam forums was not enough. I'm grateful he did that, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't want any less than we had, but they should have been a bit more open with their communication on Twitter and YouTube and stuff. They've gotten a bit better with Payday Twitter, man, even though sometimes he just posts a lot of dodgy memes and stuff. Move on. But the point being, Goris was our port of call. Whenever he posted about a console update, I was there to report it to the YouTube audience, to break things down, to give my theories, to keep people excited on consoles, because us console players, we weren't getting much hope, and it was good to be that voice of optimism, be that beacon that kept people excited for what was coming next. And I'm well aware that my community loved having that voice, loved having a Payday 2 YouTuber that cared about them beyond the odd superficial mention, because while I have spoken to / am friends with a number of people in the Payday 2 PC community, that's not a flex, that's just me saying, because I don't want any of them to think I'm insulting them. The majority of PC content creators didn't really care about consoles. If they mentioned it, it was always in passing without really much of a care. They were just there for PC. They played PC, it was all they focused on. They didn't give consoles the time of day, and I was glad to be the person that was the exception to that rule. And now, of course, like everybody else, my videos are PC-based. Okay, why is that? Let's answer that question first. Let's be quite honest here. It's because there's no news. That's the top and bottom of it. Most of my stuff was news for consoles, discussions for consoles, theories for consoles, but that was based off getting the odd bit of information now and again, telling us where we're up to, knowing roughly what would come in the next update, because I got very good at predicting roughly how much content would come and roughly when it would release, because I was getting used to being in the flow of things, knowing the ways Overkill operates and what to expect from them. Then DLCs just stopped, and it's like, well, I can't make a video on something that isn't happening. Goris stopped posting after the update released in December 2019. Mikhail Nermak put the statement up called Winds Have Changed Console Edition, where he said that console updates going forward were now going to be very unlikely. They needs to focus on making DLC for Payday 2 on PC so it could sell well and fund Payday 3 and get them out of debt. Developing content for Payday 2 on consoles meant they had to rebuild everything from the ground up. They couldn't just port stuff over. Again, the What Went Wrong on Consoles video explains this in much better detail. Please go watch that if you haven't already. It is worth your time, I promise you. But at that point, console news stopped. It was gone. Goris stopped posting, as I said. At this point now, I have no idea if the guy even still works at Overkill, whether he moved to the Payday 2 PC team, whether he moved to the Payday 3 team, whether he left Overkill. He hasn't posted on Steam since the update came out, so I'm not even sure if he's still working there anymore, but I don't know for certain, so I can't comment on that. But with him gone, and with Overkill not really talking about consoles very much, everything dried up. The news dried out. I had nothing to talk about. It's the current events, and when there aren't any current events happening on a certain platform, I can't just make it up. Do you want me to clickbait console updates? I don't want to lie to people because it's just not my bag. I'm not that kind of person. And because at that point, I just bought a new laptop to run a new capture card for Elgato, I realized that I actually had bought a graphics card good enough to run Payday 2 on PC, started playing on there and started making videos for PC. Because let's face it, if you were in my shoes and you couldn't make console content anymore because nothing was happening, would you just stop making Payday 2 stuff, or would you make the most of the opportunity you've been given and make content for PC because something's better than nothing? Hopefully, you'll all agree that it was better I just did something rather than nothing, but I know as a result, the console community feel very left out. You think I've alienated you. I have had people accuse me of abandoning people, not caring about consoles, and without trying to make it all about me, I don't think people realize how much that upsets me when I see comments like that, because it hurts me so much that you can't play Payday 2 on consoles anymore consistently because there's no content there anymore. It was the game that put me on the map for YouTube and the point that I'm at now. I'm not saying I'm famous, but I wouldn't have nearly 25,000 subscribers if not for you guys. I wouldn't be partnered with Overkill if it weren't for the console community. That's what got me out here. And nothing would make me happier than being able to sit here and keep doing console videos, keep theorizing about news, keep reporting stuff. But there's nothing to report. My hands are tied. I can't do anything. And I feel like when I'm saying this, that most people already knew this anyway, but I'd seen so many comments that were the contrary to that made me want to make this video so I could emphasize this and make it clear to you all that this is the reason that I've not been making videos. And speaking of the Overkill Partnership, something else I want to clear up, because I've had a few people accuse me of this, not many, thank goodness. A few people have said that I've just started sucking up to Overkill. I've started kissing their ass. I love them. I pray at their divine right foot. I do everything that they want me to do. It's just not true. It's just not. The point of the Overkill Partnership, for those of you who don't know, is that they occasionally give me a bit of news ahead of time with regards to DLC updates. Normally, not very far ahead, just kind of goes, ooh, there's this coming out very shortly, get ready, you might want to make a news video kind of thing. And then they give me DLC codes to give out to you guys. But that's it. And at no point in the contract, in the negotiation, the discussions they held with me did they say, we want anything to change about your content. In fact, I've got to give all the credit in the world to my now good friend Liz. I'm very lucky to have her as a friend now through this partnership. But Liz is the main mind behind this whole thing. And I'm sure she won't mind me saying that she made it very clear to me that in coming on as an Overkill partner, nothing was going to change about my content. They reached out to me because they liked what I was doing and didn't want anything to change about it. And so if I wanted to call Overkill out on something, I just do it. I don't care. If I don't like something they're doing, I will call them out on it. And as a lot of you will know in some of my PC stuff, there have been bits of free and paid updates I've not been keen on. And I've just said it because I just give my opinion. So no, Overkill have not told me at any point to stop making console videos, that, you know, I can't do console videos because I'll put them in a bad light. I can't do this, can't do that. I just haven't made the videos because there's been nothing to report. It's as simple as that. It upsets me because I know that I was that voice of optimism, that voice of reason to a lot of people on consoles, and I was the person that gave you that hope. And for a while, it looked like we were doing really well on consoles. The gap between PC and console content was beginning to close. It was starting to catch up. And then updates halted, and you see everything with Silk Road and City of Gold releasing now on PC. And the gap is just, it's bigger than ever. And it sucks, because I was constantly saying during update releases on consoles, and whenever I streamed it on YouTube when I started doing that, obviously now I stream on Twitch, and thank you to everyone who watches me over there. I might start doing some console stuff over there too, if you care at all. But, you know, I kept saying, wow, this means we're now only 3 months behind. We used to be 5 months behind. That's positive. We're not just trudging along. We're actually catching up to PC players. We might get to a really good point soon. And it all backfired. And it just means that my comment section these days looks more and more like the average Payday 2 PC YouTuber of, you know, half people saying this update looks cool, they don't like it, just PC-based comments, and half of them saying, console question mark? Oh, can't wait to play this on console in 2031. Oh, console players have been forgotten yet again. It upsets me, and please don't think for a minute that means I don't want you to comment. Of course I want people to be involved in the comment section, but I hate people even feel like they have to comment that. I feel like I've gone on a massive ramble here, and I apologize for that, but I wanted to get my thoughts out, because a lot of this stuff is stuff I've never said, because there's never been an appropriate video to do so. But the simple point of the matter is there's no console videos at the minute because nothing's happening. If at some point in the future there is an update, you can bet your bottom dollar I'll be the first person there talking about it. I will always, wherever possible, be that Payday 2 console guy. Nothing will make me happier than to fire up Payday 2 on the Xbox Series X and see this new content. Nothing would make me happier. I really honestly mean that from the bottom of my heart. But speaking of a future update, let's answer the second question. Do I think that Payday 2 will ever get another update on consoles again? I've always tried to be an optimist when I answer this question because I'm just an optimist in my personality anyway. And for the longest time, I've been very optimistic. And I think you know where this is going. I have now drifted towards the realism side. I don't think it's ever going to happen that we'll get another console update. I'm about 95% sure now. I always want to be honest about things and talk about what I think is the logical answer, not just make blind statements one way or the other without anything to back it up. And so because of that, I've said for a long time, never say never with consoles, and I stand by that. Never say never. Things could change. And I really hate saying this because I know, like, even saying it myself kind of upsets me because it's like an era of my Payday 2 content is in the dirt because I can't do anything on there anymore. For those of you who forget, I did send a list over to Overkill about a year ago now, I've lost track, which was a list of every single piece of content Xbox One and PS4 didn't have, from the tiniest mask to guns to heists to everything. Every little shred of something that was missing on consoles, I sent a list to Overkill and said, I know you can't work on updates as easily as you've said anymore, but please have a look over this, and if there is something small that you can port, please do it. Something is better than nothing. Unfortunately, I never heard anything back. But at the end of the day, it's been now like, I don't know, 500 days, and there's been nothing. The only thing we ever see is the occasional thing from Payday Twitter man being like, console heisters, we salute you. Little bit of a morale boost, and, you know, fair enough to Overkill Payday Twitter man for doing that. It's fair, but in terms of the last update, the last thing we had was mid to late last year where that update came out that changed nothing about the game, and the only point of it was to remove a few bits of Scarface for people who didn't own him. That was it. We haven't had a whiff of new content since that update in December 2019 when Mikhail said updates were unlikely and when Goris went off the grid. All signs point to that meaning consoles are done for. And it's weird. It almost makes me want to get a little bit upset because of how much it means to me. But at the end of the day, I had to say this because even when that post went out at that time in December 2019, I was like, you know, be hopeful. They've said it might happen at some point in the future. It could well happen. But we all should expect from this point that Payday 3 is beginning to get its press ramping up. We had that teaser image. We have a release year of 2023 now. The only way is up when it comes to Payday 3. And I think at this point, Overkill have decided that they just want to fix things on consoles by making sure the next game doesn't screw up again. They want to make sure that they release Payday 3 on every platform they've said, on Xbox, on PlayStation, on PC. Make sure that the content is the same at every point of time possible. At launch, when the first DLC comes out on all platforms, when the second DLC, the third, the fourth, the 52nd, however long they go on for, they want it to be the same on every single platform. And as far as I'm concerned, if they stick to that and they honor that, that's a good way to make up, maybe not completely, but as best they can for the way they've treated Payday 2 over the last few years on consoles. And I understand those of you who've said they're not going to buy Payday 3 on consoles. You know, I could sit here and promote Payday 3 as much as I want to you guys, but my honest opinion is, if you don't trust consoles for Payday 3, wait till a game comes out and see if they're true to their word. See if things stay the same on consoles as they do on PC, and if they do, buy it then. You know, you don't have to buy it at launch. Nobody's making you do that. I will be buying it at launch purely because I want to make videos on it. I want to talk about it. And I'll be buying it on the Xbox Series X. In case that's not obvious, I will be buying it on the Series X. But they just can't start mismanaging finances now that they've actually got themselves to a good point where the debts are paid off and Payday 3 is fully funded, you know? They can't start making content for Payday 2 on consoles when it's not going to yield much of a financial return. Because the key stuff people want back, the White House, Hell's Island, No Mercy, any other bits and bobs like that, pre-Silk Road, they're all free pieces of content. Overkill can't put the time in to release that stuff and see no profit from it because it is a waste of resources for them, a waste of staff, a waste of money. I've seen people suggest if they released free content and charged for it, I'd pay for it. That's never going to happen for several reasons. I mean, for one thing, it would not be fair to console players, regardless, whatever you say. If you put PC content onto consoles that was free and then charge on consoles, that's a whole murky mess. And I know some of you out there wouldn't mind that. I know that. I get that. But it's just never going to happen. They're better focusing on Payday 3, as much as it hurts me to say it, because I want more than anything for Payday 2 on consoles to get the love it deserves and the love it's lacked for the last year and a half. Payday 3 is the smarter option. It just is. I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about. This turned into a semi-rant. I had to record this 3 times, and I wrote a little bit like series of bullet points to make sure I covered the key things and didn't go off track, because I did very quickly with both of the last times I tried to record this. But I'm going to end this with a question. I probably should have opened with this question. It would have been a smarter move, but whatever. This is a test to see whoever is, you know, still listening at the end. end. Would you like to see me make more console videos? And if you would, please follow it up with what you'd like to see, because at this point, I'd like to do a video talking about what consoles need most in the next update, which things from PC, from my experience, having now played and streamed it a lot, would I like to see consoles get as a priority. But that's a very kind of baity video, because we know it's likely not to happen. You know, I'm going to be theorizing on a what if that is almost guaranteed to never be fulfilled. If you still want to see me theorize that, if you still want to see me interact with console stuff and make these videos even when all hope might well be lost, tell me. I'll make the videos. I don't care. I will happily have a reason to talk about console. I just don't want to lead you guys on. I don't want to make a video that compromises people's trust in me any more than maybe some console players have already lost with me. If you have lost your faith in me because I've moved to PC, I can't do anything about that other than apologize, but I hope this video has made some kind of effort to make you understand why it is. It's not that I don't care about consoles. If I had my way, I'd still be the console guy. I'd still be talking about console and PC, but I will say I'm grateful for all the help that anyone in this community has ever given me. If you ever watch my console stuff or my PC stuff, if you're still here now from the early days, whatever part you played in my channel, thank you. If you stick around regardless of the circumstances, if you're on console and you just want to keep seeing what I put out for Payday, thank you. If this is the point on console where you go, you know what, you've said this, it's unlikely, I'm going to head out. I'm very sorry to see you go, but I do understand. But that is about it. So thank you all very much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I know it's a weird one. And like I said, if you want to see more videos like this where I just talk to the camera about Payday 2 stuff without the music, without the gameplay, a more low-key, low-edited video that just talks to you guys, let me know. If you have enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps get the video on the algorithm so more people can see me talk about this. I think that's very important that more people see this video. And if you are new around here and seeing this makes you like what I'm doing for whatever reason, do hit subscribe. We're almost at 25k, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I can't tell you how grateful I am for that. It's a fantastic milestone. I'm not going to sit here and plug all my stuff, so I'll just say all my links, the Twitch, the social medias, the Discord, everything, all that stuff, Patreon, channel members, the loose mention, all in the description. If you want to support me, be a part of the community, please head over there. Would greatly appreciate it in whatever way you so choose. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next week with a brand new Payday 2 video. Until then, look after yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks very much for watching.